The conference finals have finally tipped off in the NBA. Both game ones are in the book. Golden State took care of business over Houston in game one, 110 to 106. And today the Cleveland Cavaliers, they downed the Hawks 97 to 89. And with Atlanta being the number one seed, having home court advantage, all the pressure is on in game two. They also lost DeMarre Carroll to injury. Hopefully he will be back, but he is questionable for game two. And in the Warriors-Rockets series, Houston, they lost Dwight Howard, who is questionable for game two as well. So are both these series over? Will the Warriors and Cavs walk over their respective opponents? Welcome back to the Best Damn Sports Blog. Back again. This time to talk NBA Conference Finals. Game one is in the books in both series. But specifically, I'm going to talk about the Cavs and Hawks for now. Because that game, it was a good game throughout. But the Cavaliers were able to pull away with some fantastic shooting from J.R. Smith, who was 8 of 12 from 3 in the game, setting a Cavaliers franchise record for most three-pointers in a playoff game. You know Knicks fans gotta be sick right now seeing Iman and J.R. Smith playing so well in Cleveland when in New York, I mean, they were pretty average and they definitely did not look this good. But I guess that's the difference between playing with Carmelo and playing with LeBron. But I also want to say, what's up with Phil Jackson? Let's not forget, in order to trade for Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith had to be included in the deal. The Cavaliers didn't even necessarily want J.R. Smith. They were trading for Iman Shumpert when they acquired both. So Phil Jackson, he deserves a salute from the Cavaliers by including J.R. Smith, and it really makes him look kind of silly. First year GM, but he's making money as if he's been a GM for 5 to 10 years and has won a championship as a GM. I believe he's bringing in about $6 million a year. So Phil Jackson, you got a lot of work to do in New York. And, you know, they can't catch a break. They didn't get a top 3 pick in the draft. So most likely it's no Russell, Towns, or Okafor for the Knicks either. So it'll be interesting to see how the Zen master, Phil Jackson, turns it around in New York. Because I always thought he was a little bit overrated. We never seen him turn the team around. He took Jordan to the promised land. He took Kobe and Shaq to the promised land. He took Kobe along with Gasol and Bynum to the promised land. But he never built those teams up. He already had a product that just needed a little something to get them over the hump. And that's where I'll give him the credit. But I do not think he's one of the greatest coaches of all time either. But that's getting off on a tangent. Let's get back to the series at hand because the Atlanta Hawks, they're in trouble. If DeMarre Carroll cannot go because his injury looked serious. It looked like a bad hyperextension that could possibly be an ACL injury. I'm no doctor, but I definitely saw the hyperextension. And if he's out for game two, then I don't know what the Hawks are going to do because he's been their best player outside of Jeff Teague on offense that can actually put the ball on the floor. We know Sefolosha is out as well, and DeMarre Carroll, he was going to be ATL's version of the LeBron stopper. And he played LeBron well in the matchups prior that the Hawks and Cavs had in the regular season in which LeBron played. So that's a big loss if he's not going to be able to go. And game two is a must-win situation. And if Atlanta loses, they could get swept in this series. Like, honestly. Like I said, J.R. Smith went off. Tristan Thompson had another double-double. And even Mozgov got a double-double. Man, Tristan Thompson, though, man, he is going to get paid and deservedly so. The tenacity he plays with on the boards is just fantastic. I love to watch him play. He never gives up on any rebound. And I swear, he's like one of the best anticipators of where the ball's going to come off the rim because it seems like he's always in the vicinity of the rebound, whether he gets it or not. But heading into that game, Cleveland was 8-0 whenever they out-rebounded their opponent. So what do you think happened versus Atlanta in game 1? Yes, they moved to 9-0 because they out-rebounded Atlanta 49-37 in the game. And not to mention, all of this went in Cleveland's favor. LeBron, J.R. Smith setting a franchise record. LeBron was pretty efficient in the first half. He was 8 of 12, and he didn't shoot any three-pointers. In the second half, he got a little more jump shot happy, but he still finished 11 of 26 from the field, which isn't too bad with 31 points. And Kyrie Irving, he's still not 100%. He was just 4 of 10 from the field with 10 points in 27 minutes. There was a big chunk of the second half in which Kyrie wasn't even on the floor, including the fourth quarter. Matt Dellavedova was in the game, and he was putting in work on the defensive side of the ball. He was 0 of 6 from the field, but he played great defense on Jeff Teague, who went hot in the first half with 17 points, but cooled off in the second with only 10 points. He finished with 27 for the game. A good game overall, but Delly got it done down the stretch on Teague. Most of his scoring came against Kyrie Irving, and we know he's hobbled. But honestly, I don't think the Hawks have a chance in this series after seeing game 1, especially with Carroll's unfortunate injury. That's a huge loss for this team on the offensive side and defensive side. When you look at position for position, probably the only mismatch that the Atlanta Hawks have is Mozgov against Horford, and Mozgov pretty much canceled him out, finishing with the double-double himself. Horford had more points, but if Mozgov is getting a double-double, that's a plus for the Cavs because they don't necessarily need him to. But as far as it goes in this series, game 2 is do or die. Already for the Hawks, it's do or die in game 2. They lose game 2 on their home floor, they can kiss this series goodbye, and it's going to be quick, probably in 4 games, a sweep. But if Atlanta is able to win game 2, which they should be able to, they lost just 8 games, including the postseason, on their home floor all year. So if they're able to win game 2, this series could stretch out to 6. But I think the Cavs end them in 6. This game 1 win was huge for Cleveland. They already got the pressure off their back of winning in Atlanta. And now all the pressure is on Atlanta to regain home court. And to be honest, I don't think they have the requisite pieces to do so. LeBron James is the best player in the world. And when you're getting that kind of production from Tristan Thompson, Iman Shumpert, Matthew Dellavedova, and J.R. Smith giving you 8 of 12 from 3-land, now I know that's not going to be an average, but if he can just give you around 3 to 4 every game, I don't see a team led by LeBron James, even if Kyrie is hobbled. I don't see a team led by LeBron James being stopped by this Hawks team. They play great team basketball, but they just don't have that one player you can go to at any time. They lack that slasher to tag with Jeff Teague. And with Carroll out, who was somewhat of a slasher, but he was not athletic enough to fill that void. Without him, though, they're really in trouble because Teague is the only player who can create off the dribble in the starting lineup now. Unless you want to bring in Dennis Schroeder, who can be sporadic. So Atlanta, they got their work cut out. And to be honest, I don't think they stand a chance. And they had a great season. They made it farther than a lot of people thought going into this season. I thought they would probably be around a 5th, 6th seed. They ended up with 60 wins in the regular season and are in the Eastern Conference Finals. A loss to LeBron James, you can't hold your head to that. He just is the better man with the better team.